Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you and Gloves Off, and today I have a great guest. We have Rafa Duenas, who's running for City Council District 6. How are we doing today? You doing good?
Pretty good, Paul. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for standing up.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of guts for you to sign your name in that dotted line.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about the reasons why, because the last time I actually saw you was here a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing an interview, and we did a debate as well. Tell me, what has happened in 4 years, and what has happened for you to say, you know what, I'm going to throw my name in the hat again?
Yeah, so a lot has happened in 4 years. But before we go right into the issues, because we're both very passionate and we could talk for hours on it, I'll talk a little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Laredo. My family moved here from Mexico looking for a safe city to raise their two daughters in. And this city has really given us everything, opportunity through opportunity, and we've been able to grow on that with God's favor on our side. I graduated from United. Then I went on to a Bible college called Christ for the Nations, where I got my bachelor's in practical ministry and biblical studies. I moved back because I have a heart for my community. It is tough when there's a lot of opportunities. But this is just where my heart is. My heart was in Laredo, so I wanted to come and serve and develop projects to progress and move my city forward. So I moved back here. I took college courses at Laredo College as well, and I am actually on my last 3 courses in the fall to graduate from political science, a bachelor's in political science at Oral Roberts University. Now, in these past 4 years, I've served as a member for the Economic Development Advisory Committee, 2 of those 4 years as the chair. I've served on the Association of Forwarding Agents, lobbying for the interest of our members, lobbying to make sure that their businesses are able to succeed in facilitating their operations, as well as seeking infrastructure, better infrastructure, to expedite trade and alleviate the traffic and the whole process. And got very involved in the local church. I've been serving as a board member there and working a lot through the benevolence. We have done turkey drives. We've worked with CPES, building beds and giving beds out to children who didn't have beds. So I've gotten very involved in the community in these 4 years. But I have noticed something that spurred me to run again for office is that in these 4 years, 1/3 of my friends have left the city due to either competitive wages or quality of life. So I said, you know what, it's time that we progress, that we move our city forward, and that we seek these stuff out, as well as the foundational measures, fundamentals of our society, which is public security, infrastructure, effective public services, investing in our fire, investing in our police, investing in our streets, traffic safety, and investing obviously on our services such as the pipelines in our utilities departments.
Absolutely. You said a couple of good stuff. You said something about safety. When I moved back, because I'm from Laredo, and I moved all over the place because my father in his field, my father's a physician, so I grew up Baltimore, Louisville. I grew up in different areas. And when we moved down here, I went to high school here. Then I graduated. I was 16. I left, and I was in Dallas. And I moved back because I had a daughter, and I wanted to come back to the people that I knew. Mm-hmm. I'm an executive chef. I have restaurants over there, so I wanted to move back to open up one here. But I got caught up with Savat and so on and so forth, and I saw the need of what was going on with how the politics here worked. I saw it firsthand and experienced it real quick. So when people say there's maliciousness going on, yes, there is, because why? I've experienced some of it. But all that aside, right now we live in Laredo in a very, very, very hard times where you have small businesses saying that they're going to move out. You have businesses that they're saying, we're moving to McAllen, we're moving to San Antonio, enough of Laredo, enough of this. You know, they're saying there's no water. The police is bad. There's so much corruption. We cannot start a new business because you go to start it up, it takes 30 days or between 20 and 30 days for a temporary permit to come in. You know what I'm saying? So they start giving you all this stuff and you start seeing it. You start seeing the concerns of people. I have never seen Laredo this bad when people are saying, if these people get elected, we're not going. If these people get elected, we're leaving. You know what I'm saying? So they've lost trust in our municipality, the governing body.
Well, there's an option now. You can vote for Rafa Duenas for City Council, and we will promote investment rather than regulations, facilitating your business operations and ensuring that you succeed.
You know, that's what we need. Small businesses were left behind during the bad flu. Nothing was really done. Everything, basically they got kicked in the head, got kicked around. They were bullied by the police for trying to open up their businesses, by the inspectors. We need to change that.
Yeah.
We need to change all that. We need to re-educate not only our inspectors, our police, and everybody else, because you know, things have to change.
Yeah.
And what would you do with the water? What's the concern right now with the water? Because that's major. And what ideas do you have to fix that?
Okay, so before we go into the water, you did hit a few interesting points that I've heard regarding the way the city is right now, XYZ, the stuff that has been done in the past, even three councils previous, just the lack of planning for the future, just doing stuff in the moment, everybody kind of pulling their own way. So the foundation of everything has to be character, right? Your talent, your abilities, and your skills can take you here, but if your character is not up to par, then your talent and your skills are going to bring you right back down. And that's what we need as a society, as a community. We need to unite, and we need to make sure that we have people with character who will stand their ground, who will be a voice for the voiceless, who will stand up for justice, who will stand up for others, for the well-being of others. Not self-serving, but on the contrary, giving everything that they have to serve this community. In the water, so we have had a few problems in our water. We do have water, that's a good thing. There's other cities that don't have water, such as Monterrey, Lerma, so that's actually a good selling point to bring in foreign investment, to bring in maquiladoras, to bring in manufacturers. But we do need to work on our infrastructure for our water. We have two plants here, the Pico plant and the Jefferson plant. The Pico plant is the new one. Jefferson has been built, if I'm not mistaken, around the 50s. But these pipelines need to be remodeled. Their life expectancy is 50 years. You know, now we're in 2022. We're a few years from there. So it's important that we're constantly giving maintenance on what matters the most, on the foundational elements. And yes, we can't see it. It won't boost up our ego. We may not get a cool picture of it, but we will have effective public services. And we need to ensure that we have competent workers, because the pipeline burst happened for a few reasons, and just we need to make sure that our competent workers are up to par, but we need to make sure that we're paying them well as well.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny you say that, because we're not talking about the past city council, but I grew up in Laredo. We had dirt streets.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them were dirt streets. We had a couple of paved ones, but the majority of the neighborhoods were all dirt streets. And it started changing, so it grew very, very fast from, I would say, 86 to about 2005. It just kind of burst. It burst. It was different energy. People got tired of that. But we're kind of degrading back now. You know, we have to stop that. We have to move forward. We cannot have council member or a leader up there of a community that's going to cave to a group of a parent watchdog group, which is basically an attack dog group, and you have a group of activists that are just going in there attacking everybody and wanting what they want, because for them the sun comes out and it doesn't come out for anybody else but them. Listen, we're at the point now that we have to bully the bully, so we have to stop all that, and
you stand up.
You have to stand up.
Yeah.
Enough's enough,
And there are some projects that have been approved in the past, so we need to give continuity to those and make sure that they go through and ensure that those funds that were allocated to public infrastructure, to public services, stay there.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 enterprise funds, which is the solid waste, the utilities, and the bridge.
Sure.
They gain revenue and they keep it there, and then they pitch into the general budget. We need to make sure that the utilities enterprise stays there. Not try to go and grab some money to make a mural or a sculpture, or I have this project and we're keep picking it off, and make sure that those funds stay there. Have the boldness to stand up and say, hey, we can't do this at the moment because we need to fix our infrastructure. And then after that, hey, you know what? We got our stuff up to par. Now we can start to work here and there. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do through private-public partnerships, Fixing up our parks. I know a lot of people businesses who would gladly donate a bench, a carp, some swings, basketball courts from their business. And maybe we can do a plaque or something like that to kind of thank them for their support in investing in the community. Everybody wants to move our city forward. So I think if we all work together, we can definitely break all those barriers that have kind of divided us, And you were talking about watchdog groups and just influential groups who sometimes go in and make ruckus. I think the last thing that our city needs right now is more division, less envy, less strife, and change that culture and create a culture of unity, create a culture of, okay, you know what, we all want to move our city forward. You have this vision, I have this vision. Where can we unite? And so we can speed up the process in developing new projects, and giving continuity, and ensuring that the projects that have already been approved get completed, instead of slowing down the process because we're so caught up in the details. Let's focus on what unites us so that we can work better for the citizens of Laredo.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things that are beneficial for the future, and we have to. I think now we have to protect our youth, number one. We have to better educations for that. We have to do a reform with our police. We have to basically sit down and say, this is going on. We have to change that culture that's inside. It has to change, because we have some good police officers out there. We have some good badges out there. We have some knuckleheads as well. But and we have to really think hard of what's being done.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice come to Jesus meeting with ourselves and say, what's going on now?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to use that term, but that's what needs to happen.
We all want safe roads, right? We all want safe homes. We all want a safe community. So that requires us to continue investing in public safety, continue investing and working with our police, continue investing and working with our fire, and ensuring that all of us come together, not just everyone pulling their own way, a council member pulling this way, and then another council member pulling the other way, or even with the districts, have a good collaboration, working relationships to move our city forward.
Sure, absolutely.
Because it's all of us who move it forward. At the end of the day, the reason Laredo has progressed is because of the working class,
Absolutely.
Because of the firefighter, the police, the transportation owner, the stay-at-home mom who take care of their kids and make sure that they're raised with principles and values and morals. That is what progresses our city. So now it's time for us to unite and work together.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, there's one good thing that came out of 2020 besides the technology that made a lot of things happen. State Representative Richard Raymond, myself, the district attorney, and others, there were many. We all worked together to kind of bring unity to something called parental alienation, which is when one parent doesn't allow the other child to see the other parent,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they have a custodial, non-custodial parent.
Yeah.
There is a law, there's a penal code, it's called 2503. It's interference with child visitation. It's a state jail felony.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, Laredo PD would say it's a civil matter. The DA won't prosecute, it's a civil matter. and that alienation starts to grow to the point that all of a sudden that's no longer in the life, and you get stuff that happened, like what happened in Uvalde, and there's a lot of other dangers, a lot of statistics. I'm not even going to go into that. But they made a resolution. We came down with, we don't want to see anybody incarcerated, but we came down with the first infraction, you get a ticket, second infraction ticket, the third one you get a ticket and you go to jail. But now you have paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And this led to a bill called House Bill 4240. And it was almost passed unanimously in the House. So it was just stopped in the Senate. It was stopped because a bunch of other things that were going on. It just quashed it. They quashed that and a lot of bills. But we're going to do that again. How do you feel about that? Because number one, our police are kind of allowing this alienation to continue instead of stopping it and aiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the first ones that say kids are committing crimes because there's not enough dads in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not allowing the dad themselves to be involved in the life. What do you say about that?
Well, first of all, congratulations on your involvement and your genuine work for that, towards that. So that is definitely a state issue, but obviously the police department would be involved. I think that we definitely need to stir a culture of taking care of each other, both as parents. We need to put our differences aside and kind of make sure that we're putting up the kids first on all matters, you know, and then just working from there. We do need to love each other more, serve each other more, break all these culture. We've seen a lot of domestic issues here in our city, and stuff that I don't know. I mean, maybe it was occurring before. I just wasn't so much on social media. There's a lot of domestic issues, and we need a changing culture, and it does start off from leadership. It stems out of there. So by changing the culture within the governing authority, we can start to go down into nonprofit associations who are already looking to do that, who are looking to unite people, who are looking to bring some peace and tranquility in homes, even if there's some sort of division, and working with our police, working with private organizations that stir in that unity and kind of just break this culture change of just strife amongst each other. You know, we need each other at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, and we need to put our egos aside and realize that we need each other. Kids
Absolutely.
need parents. Parents need coworkers, bosses. We all need to work together and move our society forward.
And that's what Laredo needs right now.
Yeah.
You know, the last time we had a debate, we're going to have a debate here, but we're having a debate, two gloves off, and another, which is going to be the mayoral debate and the state representative debate in City Council District 1. Because there were not that many people. Now everybody's coming together. You know, there's more candidates and stuff like that on all the other fronts. But I'm going to try to see if we can set something up for us to have a debate for City Council District 6.
Good, we'd love to.
And
I will say this, I'll make a little brief pause and congratulate all the other candidates. I really hope that they have genuine interests in bettering our city and standing up for what you believe. I think the last thing that our city needs right now is for us to be in conflict with each other. So I'm all for exposing our ideas and sharing our ways of bettering and moving our city forward.
Absolutely. With this, we'll go ahead and leave everybody else. Number one, thank you for coming out. Thank you for standing up. Folks, this is the second day of school. Grab your kids, hug them, get involved with your kids' lives. We'll leave you with this. You all be safe and stay safe. Till next time, much peace.